What is going on, guys? I want to talk about NFL draft hopeful Kadarius Toney. Now, I've seen this guy play in college. The guy can ball, but apparently he has a side hobby, which he is going fully into, even though he is preparing for the NFL. Kadarius is a rapper, and apparently he recently released the album in January, and he goes by the name Young Joker. And this video here was a recent music video he released on his Young Joker page. Now, these guys have every right to have hobbies outside of football. It didn't stop him from having a good season, but there are NFL scouts who are worried that him and his love of wanting to be a rapper could derail his career. Now, let me just say this about Kadarius. Again, he's entitled to have a hobby if it's a hobby. But, I mean, he can also do the career. We see guys in the NBA doing music and basketball, right? So I don't think it's that big of a problem unless it affects his play. Now, you got people who are in support of what Kadarius Toney is doing, and they're basically saying, look, he can do whatever he wants. It didn't affect this last season at Florida. The difference is that he didn't get, well, I'm going to say he didn't get paid, but, we are talking about the SEC. But anyway, he wasn't paid to play at Florida. He balled out because he wanted to go high in the NFL draft. The NFL draft was his motivation. So whether he was doing music or not wasn't going to affect him. The problem is that once these guys are in the NFL, they got money now, they got groupies, will that same motivation be there, or will they just say, you know what, I don't have a love for football like I thought I would, and go fully into the music? Because now you got that signing bonus, you got that first year, 2, 3 check, and that's what I think some of these NFL scouts are coming from. I'm not saying that it's right, but we have seen instances where guys cared more about stuff outside of football, and they ended up not lasting very long due to them for the most part. But again, he's allowed to do whatever he wants outside of football as long as it doesn't affect his play. Now, according to BroBible.com, so the NFL draft is almost here, which means it's time for NFL scouts to criticize prospects anonymously. Earlier this week, The Athletic's Bob McGinn spoke to several NFL scouts to discuss the top 30 offensive players on the draft board. McGinn report includes several wondering if Gators wide receiver Kadarius Toney, who raps under the name Young Joker, cares more about his rap career than he does football. See, these anonymous reports bother me too. I don't like to see anonymous anything. If you want to report something, you want to speak on something, do it publicly. But again, I understand that they don't want to have to deal with scrutiny. Scouts are to be basically heard from but not seen. Okay, when I mean heard, I mean their scouting reports. People want to hear what their scouting reports are, or at least the organizations want to hear what those scouting reports have to say. They really don't care to visually have the scouts publicly out there. And according to The Athletic, he got some swagger. He actually has like 2 recorded albums and 3 additional singles. It's a concern whether he has enough commitment to do it at this level with all the stuff he has going on. Added a third scout, music seems to be his passion more so than football. His skills are compared by a 4th scout to ex-Gator Percy Harvin. The scouts' concerns about pretty dumb considering Toney released his Split World album January 1st, 2020, and went on to catch 70 passes for 984 yards, 10 touchdowns during the college football season. Again, he was motivated by the NFL. Nothing was going to stop him from having a good season unless bad quarterback play. Fans fired back with anonymous NFL scouts' assessment of Toney and his rap career. How can anyone look at how hard he worked this offseason to become a more complete wide receiver and potential first-round pick and say that football isn't his first passion. Unbelievable. Playing football is what Toney does. It's not who he is. He's allowed to have hobbies and passions other than football. Scouts do this weird thing where they overanalyze everything about a prospect, turn the tape on, and results speak for themselves. Damian Lillard has been a top 10 MVP, a candidate each of the last 3 seasons, released 3 full-length albums along with multiple singles, and has his own recording label, but keep telling us how music can distract from an athlete's career. Well, Damian Lillard is a talented basketball player, and he has a passion for basketball and music. But see, the thing is that Damian Lillard did that when he was an established NBA player. Kadarius hasn't gotten to the league yet, and he's already released music. That comparison, and again, I think I made that comparison clear at the beginning. Listen, I want Kadarius Toney to do well. I don't believe in anonymously putting out things and then it turns out to just be a bunch of BS. But you have to understand, this is what NFL scouts do. I don't know why people are surprised by this. When the Wonderlic test results leak and you see how smart a quarterback is or how not so smart a quarterback is, those things happen. When these teams are going to invest millions of dollars in these guys, they want to know that these guys are in it to play football and are not just there to push their music career, because these teams don't care about his music career. And the thing about Damian Lillard is that Damian Lillard, not to my knowledge, now I didn't know what he did at Weber State. I didn't know if he made music at Weber State. To my knowledge, Damian Lillard didn't start making music until he was already in the NBA. All right? He had already started to make a name for himself. He utilized what he had done on the court to do music, but Damian Lillard's number one passion is still basketball. Music is a hobby that he wants to build into something while he's playing. He's actually doing it very smartly. So, again, time will tell with Kadarius. Like I said, I hope he does well. I don't wish no ill will on whatsoever. He's worked hard to get to where he is, and I think he deserves the right to have the opportunity to play in the NFL. I don't think that right should be taken away from him. I don't think that, people should look negatively on his rap career, but this is what the NFL scouts do. They have to bring these things to light. And some people are not going to like it, but this is just how scouting is. And it's nothing against him. This is what scouts do. Imagine the scouting reports from 10 years ago when there was no social media. They're going to bring up everything that could possibly be a red flag. And people are taking it personal when you need to understand that, listen, these teams are going to invest millions of dollars in this guy. They want to know if he's prepared for the rigorous road that the NFL is. You don't believe me? Look at Isaiah Wilson. Look at Isaiah Wilson, who was drafted by the Tennessee Titans, and look how much of a flop he was. The dude didn't even play at all, hardly, with the Titans in his first year as a first-round draft pick, and he ended up getting traded. So